Today we're going to talk about how this life insurance company spent over £200,000 profitably on paid ads to generate new appointments and close new cases. We're going to talk about the exact ad system that was used, the marketing channels that were opted for. We're going to talk about the types of content that was being ran. We're going to talk about the audiences, how we targeted them, why we targeted them, the hooks and the messaging that we used. We're going to take a deep dive into the funnels, the landing pages, the types of funnel that we opted for, why we opted for that, and also a wide range of different processes that we added in. We're also going to take a deep dive into their sales process to understand how they were able to contact and book in highly qualified appointments, and we're going to talk about how they were able to turn those appointments into new cases. So that being said, let's jump straight into this. This is the exact ad system that allowed this insurance broker to scale over £200,000 spent on paid traffic. This is a life insurance broker within the protection and business protection space specifically. So they sell a relevant life and business protection plans over to company directors. This is a wide range of different things, from relevant life to key man to shareholders protection and all of the other things that come alongside of that. So this ad system we opted for mainly Meta and Google. So we built all of this out for the client from a branded perspective. So we build out highly bespoke branded campaigns to be able to attract clients through the product of their choice. In this case, is business protection. So a wide range of different things that we've done here. So we've done static ads. This was really the core build up of this strategy. And again, creating everything branded with the existing logos, with the existing content, and also adding in new pieces of content as well. A couple of different things we've done here was really just the direct call outs. So just calling out people who already know about the product or maybe actively looking for the product, and just being exactly clear, what is this that we're selling and who is this for? And also highlighting the benefits of the save up to 49%, also highlighting maybe why you'd want to buy this versus a personal life insurance policy. So this is the benefits and the savings of that. And then also you have over here some just more realism type of content. So this is all AI generated, but this is more like realism content, just trying to catch people in different stages of awareness. People may be aware of the product, people maybe not are aware of the product. For this client also, we implemented more of an offer, right? Because we understood that there is a lot of competition in this space. We understand that there are lots of other insurers and advertisers wanting to get a piece of this pie. So we needed to create a sort of clear sentence that allow people to understand, what is this for, who is it for, and maybe why should I go with this company. So we designed get life insurance paid through your business, save up to 49%, zero admin, the full setup handled for you. And we also, through static images, tried to create relevance and to understand the client and what they're seeing on a day-to-day basis, which was one of the main reasons also we included content that was from HMR Revenue and Customs. And again, these sort of brown letters, if you are a company director, you've seen them before, you would have experienced them. This was really well produced, high performing content. The other thing that we added in here was video ads. So being able to leverage videos through a script, where we designed the script, really again, just professional, business-led, respectful type of brand. And then also using some more AI style imagery and videos where we're able to, again, communicate why you'd actually want to move ahead with this type of business and why you'd want to work with them. The question you might have is, what is better, static images or are videos better? Well, to be honest, if you can do both, do both. I'd say the core of this strategy really came from the static ads, but the videos were still very effective, can be very effective, and probably led most of the success because of driving in a lot of the attention through the videos. So videos are extremely beneficial. So this is why we opted for really both of them in this instance. So that was Meta. Then we done Google as well. So through Google, we were doing a couple of different approaches. This was, again, just direct search, people who are actively going onto Google and typing relevant life insurance, business protection plans. We wanted to be right there as soon as somebody is searching for it. And part of the entire Google platform as well is leveraging all of the other platforms that is linked through that. So we've got display, where we're getting in front of people who are using those platforms. we want to be in front of people over on YouTube like this example, and then using those videos on YouTube as well. What's really important is the proprietary tracking system that we implemented here that allowed us to communicate Meta and Google together to have this relationship, so they understood where our customer was at any specific time, allowing us to target people on multiple different platforms all at once. So if they saw us over on Instagram, they'd see us over on Meta, they'd see us over on YouTube, they'd see us over on Google. If they saw us on Google, they'd see us over on Meta and Instagram and Facebook and all of these other different platforms that we were leveraging this through, and different types of sections of the platform. There was this communication between the two that allowed us to be able to have this more omni-channel approach. So that's really the ad system. That was the approach of the platforms that we used. Into the specific audiences, so everyone understands top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel types of marketing. But what does that look like in how we opted to use it? So the first thing we done here was really through the messaging through those ads is the hooks and the angles. So we understood that the core types of buckets that people would fall into who would be able to buy this or want to buy this from us would be tax efficient. They're tax efficient. They're looking for tax efficient strategies, maybe to offset company tax, or they have a company and they're coming around to the tax year, something like that. That's really important, an approach that we want to go after. An approach as well is people who already have life insurance, so we don't need to convince them to buy it, but they already have it, they want it, but they just want to save some money on it. Again, cheaper than personal life insurance was a really good angle that we can go for. And then just really those direct product call outs, people who are just actively already showing intent, they want to buy it, they're just looking for the right solution and who to buy it from. They're really sort of the core main fundamental angles that we went for on this. As far as top of funnel, how we were driving a lot of that attention in, again, we were going after people who are problem aware, people who are actively searching for this type of stuff, but also people who are just not aware of the product but maybe could be a fit. And how we were doing that is we were going after business owners, we were going after people, actively looking for the solution, we were going after people maybe showing interest in tax savings, we were going after people who are actively using accounting softwares. Obviously page admins of Facebook pages most of the time would be business owners, SME owners, so just small and large enterprise businesses, headcounts of small, medium and large as well. And also we found that just people who were interested in politics tended to a lot of the time be business owners, and a really profitable audience for us to push into. So once we actually gained that attention, we started to funnel them through. We started to show these people ads, and people started to engage with them and click on them and submit lead forms and stuff like that. We then moved into a more middle of a funnel type of strategy. So we were able to target people with maybe different types of ads or more ads or different type of messaging, for people who have been on our website, people who have clicked our ads, people who have maybe clicked on other people's ads but are in the same space as ours, so competitor ads, people who have been on competitors' websites, people that have seen our ads in the past, maybe they saw an ad a month ago, maybe they saw it 90 days ago, 180 days ago, and people who are so close to being converted, but they just haven't maybe submitted their information over to us. In this instance, we started to show these individuals different styles of content, maybe different types of messaging, maybe more videos, maybe more pictures. We started to show them different types of messaging, so maybe a different type of bucket. And then also we started to maybe show them ranges of like educational content, why you'd want to buy it, why you'd want to buy it from us. So that was really your middle of funnel type of approach. And then as we move those individuals down into more of a, they're very close to buying from us, they just haven't yet purchased from us or they haven't yet converted, then we want to start showing individuals content who are in our sales process. So people who have seen an ad, they've submitted a form, they've had a conversation, but they're in that buying situation. We want to start to show these types of individuals different styles of ads. We also want to put people into more like pocket audiences, more like if this then that. So for example, if somebody's clicked our ads a number of times, but they've landed on like one landing page, but they haven't converted, maybe they need a different type of conversion mechanism. Maybe we can funnel these types of individuals through a different funnel. So for these types of individuals, we'd start to show them new ways of converting, different conversion mechanisms, different funnels, different types of messaging, because we understand that they're interested, but maybe the way that we're framing it to them is just putting up a bit of a resistance. As we move over into the actual funnel approach of what we implemented here, this was where most people go wrong here is, right, they have an ad, they go over to sort of one landing page, and then, somebody submits a form, right? But what we done here is we understood that some people buy in different ways. Some people might need sort of more content to convert. Some people might just need, one simple word on the screen. So what we actually implemented was multiple different funnels, multiple different conversion events, multiple different conversion mechanisms, and then we connected that all together so when somebody submits, they just go over to the same confirmation page. And really what this looked like is more contextual content landers. So this is information about why you'd want the product, how to buy it, the benefits of it, customer reviews, why you should consider it versus other options. Other types of landers that we implemented and funnels that we implemented were more short form conversions, where we just have the headline, some social proof, and a call to action. We also implemented more of a VSL type of structure where you've got the headline, the offer, and also an explainer video on it as well. And there's a number of different other funnels that we implemented. We also implemented a confirmation page. Now, this confirmation page allowed us to pre-frame people ahead of time for the conversation. Now, there's a number of things that I've blanked out here specifically for clients that would pay us, where we implement these types of things. So if you're interested in knowing more about how we do this, you'd like us to build a funnel out like this for you and for your insurance company, I'd endorse you to go below the first link of description and book in a call with us and have a conversation with us. But we implemented a confirmation page, which allowed us to be able to pre-frame the client to know the next step, increase our show rate, increase our contact rate, and also educate that client. So when they do get on the conversation with an advisor, they're just more framed, they're further down the sales cycle. One thing that we implemented here, or one of the biggest things we implemented here, were these qualification forms. So we actually built out these custom built qualification forms to qualify the data before it comes through, and also allow us to segment traffic into buckets, into people who are likely to buy and maybe people who are less likely to buy based on historical data. Now, the reason we've done this is to allow us to, one, get a better type of inquiry to come through, but also to warm up and help the algorithm target people who are more qualified. Where most people go wrong is that they run an ad to a form, and then as soon as somebody completes the form, they send that as a conversion event back to the platform to say, yeah, that was a lead, that was a great type of inquiry. In this case, what we done is we actually understood which types of individuals would qualify through the qualification form, and then if somebody submitted some details to us and they was qualified, then we'd send that data back into the platform to say those type of individuals, we need more of those. And if they were not qualified, then we would refuse to send that data back to the platform, so the platform only learned on those really highly qualified types of prospects that were coming through. So that's the exact funnel approach that we used. Then what happened once all of this is done, so from the ads all the way over to the audience, so the targeting and messaging, over into the funnel, once we actually then converted that individual into a lead, we then obviously need to sell them some plans. We need to advise them on the best option. So what was done then is the lead would come through if it was qualified. If it was not qualified, a lot of the time it was maybe just put through some nurturing, or a case of just contacted and said maybe you're not going to be the right type of fit. And then if it was qualified, it was sent over to an advisor. That advisor then was responsible for actually contacting and establishing communication with that lead. If for some reason they didn't respond, then there would be a nurturing sequence and value content that goes into place. So they would go through a nurturing sequence of emails and SMS, warming up the prospects, giving them reasons to actually want to have communication with us. We would give them value pieces of content, how-to explainers, and just feed them with a lot of information to be able to drive them back through to this funnel again. When they do respond, then they would be booked in for an appointment, and then from that appointment a few days later they would go through the fact find and conduct a fact find. At the point of where that client's happy, they move forward, and they obviously close that into a new case. This section here is really important. From the point of where you book the appointment to the fact find, what this client done is sent a lot of nurturing sequences and pre-booking framing content. So they were able to educate the client further, give the reasons to buy, educate them about the business, give them a lot of resources on maybe questions that they already have. So then the advisors gave them resources that had helpful content, client wins, testimonials, framing content, explainer videos. This allowed the client to become just further down the line in the sort of sales cycle. So by the time the actual fact find was conducted, it was less about the questions and more about talking about the budgets and how this plan is best suited for them and their situation. So it's more of the advice-based situation more than just like questions about the product. So that's the exact paid ads funnel that has allowed this insurance broker to spend over 200 grand profitably on ads. If you'd like an approach and funnel built like this for your insurance company, I'd endorse you to go below and click the first link in the description. You can book a call with us, or if you want to reach out to us in any other way, you can email us, you can LinkedIn us, you'll find a way. That being said, I hope you found some value from this video. Please like, subscribe, do all that good YouTube stuff. Thanks again for watching.